All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for showing up this morning to officially welcome back Kelly Kroskoff as President of Basketball Business Operations for the Indiana Fever.
What seemed like a routine press conference quickly became one of the biggest storylines surrounding the Indiana Fever. Comments from team president Kelly Kroskoff sparked widespread discussion, leaving fans and analysts debating the franchise's future, its leadership, and how the organization plans to balance championship goals with the massive attention surrounding Caitlin Clark. As the conversation grew, many people began viewing Clark's role in Indiana from a new perspective. To understand why, it's important to look at where the Fever were before she arrived. The franchise struggled through several difficult seasons, winning just 6 games in 2021, 5 in 2022, and 13 in 2023. National attention was limited, attendance remained low, and the team had fallen out of the spotlight. Everything changed when Indiana selected Caitlin Clark with the #1 overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. Her arrival sparked record-breaking television ratings, sold-out arenas, booming jersey sales, and unprecedented media interest across the league. Seeing the opportunity ahead, the Fever brought back Kelly Kroskoff as President of Basketball and Business Operations, trusting her experience to help lead the franchise into an exciting new chapter. When Kelly Kroskoff returned to the Indiana Fever, her hiring was widely celebrated as a major step forward for the franchise. However, some fans later revisited comments from her introductory press conference and felt they carried new significance. Fast forward to July 2025, when Caitlin Clark missed several games with a groin injury and the Fever were battling to stay in the playoff race. During that period, a clip from Kroskoff's October 2024 media session resurfaced online. In the video, she identified Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston as the foundation of the franchise, making it clear that the organization's long-term plan was to build around both stars. The clip quickly reignited discussion among fans about Indiana's future. Then one particular statement drew even more attention. Kroskoff said she wanted the Fever to grow into a lasting national brand, comparing the organization's long-term vision to a company like Apple. That comparison immediately caught the attention of basketball fans, and within hours, the clip had spread across social media, fueling widespread debate about the franchise's goals and its vision for the future. Many fans interpreted Kelly Kroskoff's comparison in different ways. Some argued that, just as Apple's success became closely associated with Steve Jobs, Caitlin Clark should be recognized as the central figure driving the Fever's rise. Others believed the organization was simply emphasizing a long-term team-building strategy rather than focusing on one player alone. The discussion quickly spread across social media, where supporters debated whether the franchise was fully embracing the player who had brought record-breaking attention, sold-out arenas, and new fans to the WNBA. Reports that Kroskoff's social media account had disappeared only added to the speculation and online conversation. While much of the debate unfolded online, a very different picture emerged inside the Fever's locker room. Several of Clark's teammates spoke positively about her leadership, work ethic, and influence on the team. Among them was Lexi Hull, one of Clark's closest teammates, who told Glamour magazine that Clark's presence has had a major impact on the Fever. Hull explained that the increased attention surrounding Indiana has changed the way opponents prepare for the team, highlighting just how much Clark's arrival has elevated the franchise's profile across the league. Lexi Hull explained that the surge in media attention and fan interest following Caitlin Clark's arrival has changed how other teams approach the Indiana Fever. According to Hull, many opponents seem especially motivated when facing Indiana, viewing those matchups as an opportunity to make a statement against one of the league's most talked-about teams. Sophie Cunningham shared a similar perspective, saying she had heard plenty about Clark's impact even before joining the Fever and believed opponents often bring extra intensity whenever they play against her. Throughout the season, fans and analysts also debated the physical defense Clark faced, with some questioning whether officials were doing enough to protect her. Despite the outside speculation, a very different story continued to emerge from inside the Fever's locker room. Clark's teammates repeatedly praised her attitude, leadership, and commitment to the team, pushing back against claims that her growing popularity had created tension within the organization. Even as public debate intensified, those closest to the team consistently described a positive and supportive environment. Speculation about the Indiana Fever continued. Some former players and media personalities questioned whether Caitlin Clark's growing fame had created tension within the team. Those conversations quickly gained traction across social media, but Clark dismissed the rumors during a March Madness interview, saying that many people assume they know what happens behind closed doors when they really don't. Throughout the season, her teammates appeared to back up that message. They celebrated her achievements, supported her during injury setbacks, and shared genuine excitement after important victories, including the Commissioner's Cup Championship. Their interactions suggested a strong team bond rather than the division some had claimed existed. As a result, many fans shifted their focus to a different question: not whether Clark was accepted by her teammates, but whether the organization would continue building the right roster around its franchise cornerstone. With players like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Sophie Cunningham consistently expressing their support, many believe the Fever's locker room remained united despite the constant outside speculation. The strong support inside the Indiana Fever locker room continued to be reflected in the players' actions. Rookie Michaela Timpson publicly praised Caitlin Clark, while Clark shared heartfelt messages for teammates Christy Wallace and Chloe Bibby following the expansion draft, highlighting the genuine relationships that had formed within the team. Those moments reinforced the belief that the Fever's chemistry remained strong despite ongoing outside speculation. Still, many agreed that good chemistry alone isn't enough to win championships. The conversation eventually returned to Kelly Kroskop's comments from her October 2024 press conference. While some fans focused on her goal of turning the Fever into a lasting national brand, others believed her message was really about building long-term success. Kroskop pointed to the franchise's 2012 championship as an example and explained that creating another title contender would take time, with a hope that today's progress would inspire future generations of players and fans. Whether those comments reflected smart long-term planning or failed to capture the urgency of the current opportunity remained a matter of opinion among basketball fans. One fact became increasingly difficult to overlook: much of the Indiana Fever's rise in popularity after 2024 was closely connected to Caitlin Clark. Fans traveled across the country to watch her play, television ratings reached record levels, and ticket demand surged whenever the Fever took the court. During periods when injuries sidelined Clark, reports indicated that attendance and viewership declined, highlighting just how important her presence had become to both the franchise and the WNBA. Even with Clark's growing influence, the organization's public messaging continued to emphasize the Fever's long-term vision rather than focusing on a single player. At one press conference, Kelly Kroskop noted that any great basketball player would want to play alongside Clark. As time went on, that idea appeared to gain momentum, with reports suggesting that several veteran players were interested in joining Indiana because of the opportunity to team up with Clark, and some were even willing to accept smaller contracts to do so. The Fever quickly became one of the league's biggest attractions, filling arenas and generating unprecedented attention. For many fans, that success wasn't simply the result of marketing. It reflected Clark's ability to elevate her teammates, energize crowds, and bring excitement everywhere she played. As the Fever looked ahead to the 2026 season, the franchise entered another important phase after losing Christy Wallace to Toronto and Chloe Bibby in the WNBA expansion draft. Those departures created new challenges as Indiana continued shaping its roster for the future. Caitlin Clark's second season also took an unexpected turn. Rather than enjoying the breakout campaign many had predicted, injuries limited her to just 13 regular season games. Despite the setbacks, she still averaged 16.5 points, 8.5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game, earned another All-Star selection, and remained one of the WNBA's biggest attractions even while missing significant time. Off the court, the Fever continued investing in their long-term future with plans for a new $78 million performance center, scheduled to open in 2027, as part of the organization's commitment to attracting top talent and building a championship contender. Yet the biggest question remains whether Indiana can fully maximize the extraordinary opportunity in front of it. Beyond the debate surrounding management, roster decisions, and media attention, one fact is difficult to ignore. In the span of just 1 year, the Fever transformed from one of the league's struggling franchises into the most talked-about team in women's basketball. For many fans, the Indiana Fever's transformation represents far more than a typical rebuilding effort. It signals the beginning of a new era for the franchise and the WNBA. Moments like these are often shaped by rare athletes who bring new energy to the sport, inspire fans, and attract unprecedented attention. That's why Kelly Kroskop's comments about building a lasting brand generated so much discussion. Some supporters felt the organization should focus on maximizing the unique opportunity created by a once-in-a-generation talent like Caitlin Clark, while others viewed Kroskop's remarks as part of a broader long-term vision for sustained success. At the same time, Clark's teammates have consistently spoken about the positive culture within the locker room and the excitement of being part of this important chapter in Fever history. As the franchise looks ahead, many believe its biggest challenge is turning today's momentum into lasting success. One thing is certain: The opportunity is already here. Now the focus shifts to whether the Fever can build a championship contender around one of the brightest young stars women's basketball has ever produced and make the most of this historic moment. Kelly Kroskop's comments quickly became one of the biggest talking points in women's basketball, sparking widespread discussion about the Indiana Fever's future, roster building, and how a franchise should manage the rise of a generational talent. To understand why the reaction was so strong, it's important to remember where the Fever were before Caitlin Clark arrived. The team endured several difficult seasons, winning just 6 games in 2021, 5 in 2022, and 13 in 2023, while receiving limited national attention and struggling to fill arenas. Everything changed when Indiana selected Clark with the #1 overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. Her arrival brought sold-out crowds, record-breaking television audiences, booming merchandise sales, and unprecedented excitement to the league. Regardless of where fans stand in the ongoing debate, one thing is undeniable. Clark has played a major role in reshaping the conversation around women's basketball. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest WNBA news, analysis, and breaking stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.